we're going to move on to a different shade of yellow. Actually, a team that I want to say the last time the Steelers made the Super Bowl, they played this team, and they defeated them, the Green Bay Packers. And basically, it has not been, I mean, yes, the Packers are 3-2, but still we are looking at this Packer team as to saying what is going wrong in Green Bay.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense. And people wanted to say, not too long ago that, Aaron Rodgers silenced all the doubters. He's back. And then he went out and didn't perform that well again. So I don't really know what the issue is. I have no answer for that. The only thing I can say about it is I would want to ask a question to Aaron Rodgers. Is he having fun out there? Is he enjoying himself? Because his performance looks like the performance of someone who's just going out there and going through the motions. We look at a great deep ball yesterday to Randall Cobb that should have been a touchdown, and he sails it right over his head. That's not the thing that Aaron Rodgers does. So that's why I get that idea of, is he just going through the motions and just, deep pass. A little too deep?
I wouldn't say the having fun part. I would say the going through the motions, because maybe it's a thing where you start to believe I'm good. Mm-hmm. I'm good. I can do it. And then just kind of going out there. I'm not saying like the preparation part. I'm not saying that
just
Aaron Rodgers doesn't. A little bit too cocky, because I look back to a player in Peyton Manning. What's the one thing? I know Peyton had a regression the last 2 years, but what's the one thing Peyton always did every single year in the league? His preparation. If you're taking a quarterback just for his preparation alone, it's Peyton Manning. And I don't see the same thing from Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he's a little bit too cocky.
You're thinking he can't handle the amount of TV commercials he's been doing? He's not like Peyton Manning?
Maybe he can't. Well, Peyton Manning's been doing a lot more transitioning to that retirement career.
He's been doing a lot for his whole career. No, I think the reason I say I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is really having fun out there is because I want to bring point to
Rodgers.
Whatever happened to that guy? He's been gone for a while.
Then they did the Bear commercial with the super fan.
Didn't work.
I know who you are.
Didn't work. Anyways, the reason I'm saying this is because Mike McCarthy. We've all been saying it for a while. Mike McCarthy needs to go. Is that a disagreement? Does Aaron Rodgers sit there and question his coaching, his coach's play calling? Pretty damn sure he's questioned that play calling in the past, because there's been some real bonehead decisions. Is he upset with the Packers' way of never going into free agency and trying anything? Always just saying homegrown guys. That's the way we're going to do it. It works a lot sometimes, and lately it hasn't been working that well. Is he just not happy about the fact that he thinks maybe he should have more to his name? He knows he's the best quarterback out there, barring maybe Tom Brady. He knows he's the best quarterback out there, and it's a fucking joke that the Green Bay Packers only have one Super Bowl to his name.
Maybe it's a Green Bay thing.
That's what I'm bringing out. Is it the fact that, is Aaron Rodgers just not happy playing in Green Bay? And not necessarily that it's Green Bay, but just in the general situation that he's in. And is that just something that simply is bogging the player down? Ricky, I like to get into the psychology of a lot of these players, but look at a team that gets defeated, Look at a team that goes in, week out, and they lose games, and they just play like shit. You can tell when a team doesn't care anymore. And I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers doesn't care anymore. I don't think he's at that point, but I think that Aaron Rodgers is at the point where he's starting to let some things drag him down. And, he's got his great moments, of course, because he's still one of the best out there.
I'm going to say something.
But it lets him not perform the way he should.
I'm going to say something, and I am going to give credit to the person who brought this little nougat to my brain, and this thought to my brain is Dave Oster, friend here of Most Valuable Podcast and a part of Most Valuable Podcast. He made an interesting comparison to me when we were at dinner one night discussing Aaron Rodgers, and that is this. It's kind of funny how Aaron Rodgers right now is on a similar career trajectory to the man who mentored him, and I'm using air quotes because he didn't really mentor him. He just said get on the bench. Similar to Brett Favre. Brett Favre comes in, a little bit different, sat on the bench, third year in the league, second year with Green Bay, his first year starting. He goes 93, 94, 95. That fourth season, wins a Super Bowl with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, a little similar, sits a little bit, gets his first full season of starts in 2008. Goes 2008, 2009, boom, that third year, wins a Super Bowl. Right now, both of these quarterbacks are kind of, well, Brett Favre's done. We know what his career was. Right now, Aaron Rodgers is on a similar career path to Brett Favre in that sense. Early Super Bowl, early success, and then kind of fading off a little bit. Well, not fading off, but I'm going to say fading into some mediocrity.
I mean, it's kind of pathetic in a way, and I don't want to be too hard on Aaron Rodgers, but the man throws the ball 42 times and doesn't get above 300 yards. Aaron Rodgers having an even touchdown interception ratio, that doesn't happen. That never fucking happens. With Aaron Rodgers, he had a fumble in that game too.
2 fumbles, I believe.
Was it 2?
I think so.
It seems Aaron Rodgers just making mistakes that Aaron Rodgers doesn't make. And when something like that happens, a lot of times we say it's like a shake of confidence or something like that. And I don't necessarily know if that's the case, but there's just something that it just feels like there's something going on in his head. He is not completely there.
He had 2 fumbles, lost one of them.
So he
did fumble the ball twice.
It just seems like there's something going on there. Maybe he would rather be at home with Olivia Munn. I don't know what it is.
Or with Psylocke, if you saw the new X-Men movie.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to get super hard on Aaron Rodgers because the world, I feel like, wants to just point the blame and say it's a meltdown. He is done. They want to have the witch hunt. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers is fine. Aaron Rodgers on a bad day is still a better quarterback than most teams have on the roster.
You don't get rid of him because I know Bear fans, although you guys hate Green Bay, you guys would take Aaron Rodgers over Jay Cutler in a heartbeat.
I would take that performance that he had last week over Brian Hoyer right now, yeah.
But even over Jay Cutler, who's really the starter and number one.
I don't even know what happened to Jay Cutler. That guy's gone.
A healthy Jay Cutler would be number one in your depth chart.
I wonder how that thumb's doing.
And if you are a Bears fan saying otherwise, like, no, I'd keep Jay, you're delusional, and just go back in the corner and watch your dismal season. But I think the blame's got to be put a little bit on Mike McCarthy because, I mean, yes, you can say, well, it all comes down to the quarterback, but really, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, we talked about coaches that could be fired. One of the coaches we talked about, Marvin Lewis, the biggest criticism we had against him was, he's been to the playoffs this many times and hasn't won. Well, you're probably sitting there going, well, Mike McCarthy's won some games, Ricky. He's won a stupid Super Bowl.
He's got a ring.
So shut the fuck up and sit down. But when I look at it, gets to the NFC Championship game in 2007, loses to the Giants. Loses to the Cardinals in the wild card game in 2009. Yes, he won the Super Bowl in 2010. Then he loses to the Giants again in the divisional game 2011, 2012. Same thing, but the Niners. Then in 13, loses to Kaepernick and the Niners in the wild card. Then the Seahawks in the championship game in 2014. And then the Cardinals in the divisional game in 2015. So really, that 1 year, I mean, he's been to the NFC title game twice. He's been to the divisional game a couple times. He's only played in the wild card game, I want to say, twice within his career. But you look at all those times where he's been to the playoffs but he hasn't been able to beat those teams that are good. The Seahawks, Kaepernick's Niners, the Destiny Giants, I'll call them, or the miraculous Giants. Those Giants that are like, oh, well, fuck it, Super Bowl year.
Yeah.
That's the Giants teams that he lost to. And you could sit there and go, well, Ricky, it's just happenstance. But really, I look at it and go, how much drama have we seen around Mike McCarthy just in the past 2 seasons with the whole, oh, he's not calling plays, now he is calling plays, now he's not calling plays. I think eventually it's going to be, you don't put the blame on Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Aaron Rodgers needs to play a little bit better because like Stephen A. Smith said on First Take, I want to say it was earlier today, he doesn't even recognize the Aaron Rodgers that we see out there each and every Sunday this year. I think eventually you got to look at it and say, hey, you know what? We've had some good seasons, but maybe Mike McCarthy's only had those good seasons because of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, coaches get fired all the time when it might seem like, I don't know why that guy got fired.
Lovie Smith got fired from the Bears for a 10-6 season.
Harbaugh went to a Super Bowl. He got fired a few years later. But something I want to point out, too, is another coach that was with Aaron Rodgers and got himself a Super Bowl ring was an offensive coordinator named Joe Philbin. Joe Philbin then goes on to be the head coach of Miami with a 7-9 and 8-8, 8-8, and then 1-3 before getting fired in 2015. Whereas Joe Philbin now, he's with the Colts as their offensive line coach. So glorious things going on in someone who was associated with Aaron Rodgers. So,
however, the tight end coach that year, Ben McAdoo.
There you go. So the big thing here is you have, although let's be fair, Ben McAdoo's not doing that great as a head coach right now.
He's all right. I mean, it is his first year.
Joe Philbin was 7-9, 8-8, 8-8, so he did all right too.
True.
I just want to point out that Aaron Rodgers makes head coaches look really good. And the people who were part of that Super Bowl run on the coaching staff aren't having the best luck moving on away from Aaron Rodgers. Now, of course, there's a huge difference between Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Tannehill, but I think it's just worth mentioning that Aaron Rodgers makes people look good. But I don't want to talk about Mike McCarthy because I talk about Mike McCarthy all the time.
Can I throw someone else out there then?
Sure.
I'm just going to throw it out, see what you think. Could it be the departure of Reggie McKenzie? Reggie McKenzie, up until, he was from 94 to 2011, was the director of player personnel with the Packers. After 2011, he leaves to become the general manager of the Oakland Raiders. A year after, the season after, the Packers won that Super Bowl. And ever since then, the Packers have kind of been on a, not a decline, but on a not as good as we thought they were.
Well, personnel is obviously important, especially when a team is the homegrown kind of team.
And now look at, like you said, where the Raiders are going.
Yeah, that's why I want to mention general manager Ted Thompson. Ted Thompson is really the guy who needs to be fired because he's the guy who's making these decisions. If we're going to fire somebody, let's go to the top. He's the guy who says we don't make splashes in free agency. We do not do that because we are the Packers and we are better than that. He is the kind of guy who says, who agrees with this homegrown strategy. He's the kind of person who could easily go out there and get some support for Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers, even though he has some good weapons out there, nobody's a top tier weapon. It's not like he's got, now keep in mind that Tom Brady makes everybody a little bit better, much like Aaron Rodgers does, but he doesn't have the weapons that Tom Brady has been able to utilize all these years. Imagine Aaron Rodgers with a Rob Gronkowski and a Martellus Bennett combination and the tight end. How would you stop that? How the hell would you stop that? So, it's just that Ted Thompson, I don't think, and I know Packers fans would mostly agree with this, he is not having the right mentality to take advantage of the immense talent that he has been blessed with, a Brett Favre, and then moving seamlessly into an Aaron Rodgers. To have two of the greatest quarterbacks of this era on your team, in your franchise, and to only have 2 Super Bowl rings to show for it, that's sad. Especially when, Peyton Manning can go and get himself a couple Super Bowl rings, and we all say Peyton Manning had a lot of the same issues that the Packers have. They do not build a team around the player.
Well, and look at both. You can say this for Peyton Manning. You can also say it for Brett Favre. Peyton Manning actually finished the job, but you look at what those players were able to do. Both of them had kind of breakups with their first team, go to second teams. For Favre, there was a second and a third, but the last team they ended their career with, Manning actually won a Super Bowl, and Brett Favre
was close.
Well, if he didn't run into some cheaters, he would have won a Super Bowl.
If he also didn't throw an interception, he might have
if
been
he
there.
didn't run into some cheaters, but I digress.
No, let's also admit that he threw an interception.
If he didn't run into cheaters that blatantly go out there to try to injure people and shouldn't even play the game of football because it's fucking stupid. I digress, though. Go on,
You do,
Mark.
but people down below remember interceptions happen. The other thing that needs to be said, of course, is when you look at this and you look at these things, like we all criticize the people around Peyton Manning. We don't criticize Kraft and Belichick with Tom Brady, who I don't think anyone's questioning that they have utilized the talent they have.
Well, because Bill
in Tom Brady.
Belichick has built a culture along with Robert Kraft, all with Tom Brady at the helm. They're the holy trinity of the Patriots.
They've got the culture in Green Bay. The problem is
it's just not the same
they
culture.
don't support him with anything. The culture over in New England is really the New England Patriots way of like, we got this no nonsense type of thing, but we go out and we get players to come play here because people want to play here.
Look at last week, for example, Rob Gronkowski. He goes ahead, he gets into it with Perfect. He comes back to the sideline. There might be some teams that don't even go and give him a mouth, like head coaches, some of them don't give him a mouthful because he's Gronkowski and he's above that. What does Bill Belichick do? Gives him a fucking mouthful because guess what? You're a player and Bill Belichick don't care who you are.
Yeah.
He'll give you a mouthful. And that's the big difference if we're comparing the Patriots to the Packers.
No,
the
that's
Patriots,
not the big difference.
The Patriots have a culture, a winning culture.
No, Packers have a winning culture. You can't say the Packers don't have a winning culture.
Not like the Patriots, though.
I mean, sure, nobody in the history of the NFL, besides maybe like the glory days of the 49ers, have a history.
Of course, like the Packers have a winning culture. They're nothing like the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, but the thing that I say is the difference between these two organizations is the Patriots go and get the best players.
Yeah, like they went out and got
like
Aaron Blunt because they needed a rushing attack.
They need somebody. They go get somebody who is good and who is going to. And people want to play on the Patriots. People want to play for the Packers.
They
but
traded
the Packers
for Reggie Moss.
Randy
Moss. Randy Moss.
Randy Moss's younger brother, Reggie.
That didn't sound right coming out of the mouth, and for a Viking fan, I kind of feel dirty.
But no, I mean, people would gladly play with Aaron Rodgers because they know they'll have success.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the Packers,
Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb.
Yeah, they're not going to go out there and get the top tier guys because they aren't a team. That is their culture. They're not a team that does that. They're the homegrown team because they're in Wisconsin and it's a team owned by the fans. And literally people's backyards are Lambeau Field.
Well, and like, let's put it this way. I want to say for this next game coming up, it's James Starks is injured. So you want to know who their backup running back's going to be? Randall Cobb. He's going to be backing up Eddie Lacy.
Beautiful.
It's like, really? Go out and get a fucking backup running back.
Although, to be fair, Julian Edelman was like moments away from playing quarterback for the New England Patriots. So we do need to be fair.
That's after 3 quarterback injuries. Not you could pull a running back off the practice squad.
Yeah. No, they got a running back. His name is Randall Cobb. Although, to be fair, he does play running back every once in a while.
A little bit.
It's just that it's a trick play in that situation. It's not like an actual thing that they do. No, we've got a little sidetracked, but I honestly think
you think Ted Thompson's the one that
Ted
needs to go.
Thompson needs to be fired. Mike McCarthy needs to be fired too, but Ted Thompson definitely needs to go. He's kind of a mess. It's criminal to have not taken advantage of 2 of the best quarterbacks of the generation, and I think that Aaron Rodgers would do a lot better with a change of scenery. It doesn't have to be a literal locational change of scenery, of just give him some fresh new minds in Green Bay with a different way of thinking. I think that would just freshen him up. He reminds me of that coworker that you see who comes in every day, goes through the motions, does their job fine, and then just goes home. You know, the second they can clock out, they're already walking out the door. The car is started because it's just, I am here, I do my job, I go home. Right now, Aaron Rodgers is in that, I come here, I do what I have to do, I do it successfully, then I leave. And I don't care necessarily what the success is. Yeah, he's going to sound good in his press conferences because the man knows how to talk to people. But you can just tell it's a defeated Aaron Rodgers. It's a defeated team in Green Bay, and I blame everything around him.
Well, and we are going to end this discussion right here with you guys.
I was
Let
way
us
too much
know-
talking about the Packers for a Bears and a Vikings fan.
Let us know down below what you guys think about the Packers. What's the problem? Who needs to go? And it's weird because, I mean, I look at this season and there are some games, the Jacksonville one, the
easily could've
Giant
lost that
one, they
one.
could have lost them and they could be not 3-2 right now. But let us know down below what you guys think.